Alright, so let's get started for the review on parallel lines, and also at the end we'll talk about a few right triangle questions. So number 106. Here we have two which conditions would always make two lines parallel. Now, vertical angles in fact has nothing to do with the parallel lines. That's right, the answer is number 2. Alternate interior angles are always congruent. Corresponding angles has to be also congruent, not supplementary. Same side interior angles actually have to be supplementary, not complementary. Therefore, the answer was number 2. Here we have which two lines will be parallel. In fact, we see that this angle is 60, and we get to realize this angle must be 62. Then do you see the two lines, D and E? We have alternate interior angles to be congruent to each other. Not here, cannot happen. This is 115 and this is 120 and 110. They're all different corresponding angles. So amongst ABC lines, none of them are parallel to each other. On the other hand, line D and E will be parallel. So choice number 4. Alright, how about this? This is the measure of the angle x. In fact, if you think about it, that will be also measure of the angle x too, by the corresponding angles. So one way which we can do it is, when you add up 30 plus x plus 80, that must be equal to 180. Then once you solve this, you will realize that x must be equal to 70. So therefore, value of x will be 70 degrees. Choice number 3. Alright, let's try looking at this one. Angle 1 and angle 2, in fact, they're equal angles because they're alternate interior angles. So therefore, we can set it up as 7x equals 2x, or 5x plus 30. So by subtracting the 5x from each side, we get to realize that 2x must be equal to 30, which makes x equals 15. X equals 15. Choice number 2. Alright, so here we have, we want to see if line AB is parallel to DC. Now, one of the ways for us to look at it is then, we have to say, hey, are these two angles, the green marked angles, are equal to each other? So the first one, which you can get it by, if I call this one as y, then we get to realize 93 plus 43 plus y must be equal to 180. So here we have 136 plus y equals 180, which gives us y to be equal to 44 degrees. Alright, then let us move on to the next part. How about the interior angles here with the axis? So when you add up, for example, I'm going to try to do that with maybe red, x plus 19 plus 2x plus 6 plus 3x plus 5 equals to 180. That means when you combine the axes, we end up getting 6x and plus 30 equals 180, which makes 6x to be equal to 210. Oops, no, 150. Then x must be equal to 25. If x equals 25, what is the measure of this angle? That's right. 25 plus 19 becomes, in fact, yes, it becomes 44. So in fact, you will realize that these two measures of the angles are equal to each other, so therefore they are parallel. Alright, let us move on to number 111. Right triangle, in fact. Then what are we going to do? We have to put them to see if they're going to fit a squared plus b squared is in fact equal to c squared, while this being the largest. Now just one hint will be, if you look into 1, 2, and 4, they will work correctly, because this in fact is the double of 3, 4, 5, and this is 5, 15, 17 is another Pythagorean identity or triple. Here number 4, in fact it becomes 5, 12, 13, multiply everything by 3, then we end up getting that. Only thing that doesn't happen is choice number 3, because 8 squared plus 24 squared. Once you calculate this one, you will realize that that's not equal to 25 squared. In fact, it should have been 7, 24, 25. Then it makes sense. But anyways, for our purposes, choice 3 will be our answer. Number 112. So here we have AD is equal to 5 radical 2. And AB is equal to 2 radical 15. And BD is our question mark, so we're going to put it as x. So what we can do is 5 square root of, to make sure you put the parentheses, otherwise we tend to forget and then get confused, plus x squared is equal to 2 square root of 15 squared. Then here first one becomes 50 plus x squared is, in fact that's equal to 60. Therefore x squared must be equal to 10, which tells us that x must be equal to square root of 10, which is choice number 1. Now, this is actually a quite clever question. Given that this is 13, and the one popular triple that we know of is 5, 12, 13, wait a minute, does that fit x plus 7 if x equals 5? Yes, it does. So in fact, what is the length of base? Base is equal to 2x, so therefore we end up getting 10. Or if you want to do this one by algebraic way, then what we end up getting is this. X plus 7 squared plus x squared must be equal to 13 squared. Now here we have simply x squared plus 14x plus 49 plus x squared, that must be equal to 169. By subtracting 49 from each side, here comes this is x squared, then we end up getting 2x squared plus 14x must be equal to 120. By dividing everything by 2, we get to realize x squared, and then plus 7x minus 120 is equal to 0. Now then we are looking for two values where multiply to negative 120 would add up to, oops, my bad, this is, when we divide by 2, this one also should be equal to 60. So multiply to negative 60, but add up to 7. That's right, 5 and 12. So in fact, this must be 5x minus 5 and x plus 12 being equal to 0. Then you get to realize that this is only valid solution where x equals 5. All right, number 14 here. Vertical support bar. So I'm thinking we are looking at something like this. In order for us to see this one, 7 squared plus x squared must be equal to x plus 1 squared. Then we get to realize 49 plus x squared must be equal to x squared plus 2x plus 1. And obviously here, one thing which we can do is x squared cancels out. And then by subtracting 1, we get 48 is equal to 2x, where x will be equal to 24. And this vertical length becomes 24 plus 1 becomes 25. That's what we end up getting. Alright, that's it. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.